have a little time to share today. We have a little chance to engage and basically to meet in a little heart-to-heart here today. See, when I'm invited to these talks, I'm asked for a title. I never have any clue what to say. The fact of the situation is that it's all about the same thing, isn't it? It's all about that deeper meeting with ourselves. It's all about that recognition and dissolution to reality, which we experience when we let go of our ideas, when we let go of all of that which we cling to, all of that which we take to be something. So when I was asked today, I gave the word surrender as the title for this meeting, but actually it's just the ground that we are resting on in this meeting. So right now there's what do I have, like half an hour or an hour? Half an hour? Half an hour, okay. So I'm just gonna speak a little bit, yeah? And then I look forward to dance with you in sharing some conversation after that, at 11:30, I think. Yeah. So I've been tasting a little into what is there to say about surrender. I'd say right now surrender is for you a yes to that listening and that reception. For me right now, surrender is taking all of you so close that you get to see me as you, as that total nakedness of what we are. All of these people here, all on that very interesting and very exciting path of discovery, exploration of reality, and acknowledgement that there is so much that we don't know. And inside of that, we have both the reality of our non-knowing, and that actually our investigations aren't about getting to know something, but it's rather about meeting the reality of sameness in everything, in a way where we dare to meet it that nakedly. So raw and naked that we don't need to make it into something, that we don't need to uphold concepts around it. And so that we can actually get to experience it from a depth of recognition as being ourselves, in the surrender to allowing it to be exactly what it is, which is just another form of what we already are. So when that is the case, and if we're sitting here right now, then perhaps if you can take my words to be real, you can allow yourself to get as close to me as I am to you right now. So very sweet to meet new people. Happy that you're here. The journey into our surrender depends completely on our willingness to let go. And that's both letting go in terms of the melting down, and it's also letting go in terms of our limitations or our keeping ourselves small in any way which doesn't allow us to stand deeper and deeper and taller and taller. At the core of all of that, there is that strengthening as the compassion that we are attempting to wrap our arms around, our hearts around, and becoming that which we truly are. There is no limit to how deeply we can love each other by loving ourselves. What there is, however, is an invitation across every edge and every border, every limit that we have to that love, as that love. And there is no other way than to come into that full acceptance of what we are, all the way to the bottom. It includes everything, guys. Everything. It includes losing our preference of feeling, those corners of arrogance that we carry, which likes parts of ourselves, but not all of it. It includes coming in so fully and so roundly that we wear down every twist and turn that we have around the gift of being human. For at the core of all of this, and at the core of all that we can realize and recognize, there is that humanity as the sweetest pearl of our existence. And when we embrace that, in our embrace of truth, there is that birth to our compassion. There is that surrender to be fully present and to be wearing down these edges of our love. These layers of arrogance we may hold towards the feminine in all of her shapes and sizes. There's a raw diamond to be found there. A beautiful and diamond, sharp and soft one. And while I have you, there is this movement from up to down, from lost in thought to coming into the body. There's a touch and a focus on what we could call embodiment. And it's all wonderful chapters. It's all very necessary to wear down these different layers of identification that we hold on ground level. But in that opening of the door towards a wholeness as our humanity, we are looking at an inner marriage needing to take place. A surrender to both be that strength and love, which is willing to come in and allow, beyond manipulation, allow a deepening and a deepening and a deepening in through these edges that we have towards our capacity to feel, our capacity to love. This awaits for all of us because we can acknowledge reality on so many other levels of being. But the moment that we miss this point, the moment we miss that bottom line, there it is. The embrace of truth becomes an escape. The moment we do, however, embrace those bottom line layers, which of course includes the wearing down of the arrogance, the meeting with the pain of opening, of purifying exactly our relationship with passion and thereby with power. When that hollows out, we get to meet truth in form as ourselves, as that birth of truth. Now that is real value. That is real value because right there we are born as real men and real women. Full acknowledging of the reality of pure consciousness. Full acknowledging of the earth wisdom. And even a complete and total acknowledgement of the empty nature of all things, but without a single little drop, a single cell being bypassed on behalf of that. Everything worth loving everything worth committing to as love. Now, as such, for us to arrive inside of that wholeness in a true manner, the direction of focusing on our human wholeness is significant as the direction, as the pure intention. But everything stands before a dissolution for the alignment of reality, every aspect of reality. That acknowledgement of being in ground, on ground, it really makes us touch those deepest layers of our vulnerability, doesn't it? It makes us meet in the center of that equality of loving and respecting each other as human beings. It also brings us to the very center of that capacity which we achieve in allowing ourselves to surrender to the compassion of what we are. But it isn't just about the compassion, it's about full-on living of our human individuality. It's about allowing for a full flourishing of existence, but to do so in a really real manner. Where the deepest joys walk hand in hand with a total acknowledgement of what we're here for, of embracing that change which is the natural and given when life gets to do the talking, when life gets to do the acting, when we allow ourselves to be moving with the listening and the giving up of our ideas. It's very sweet to sit here with you. Yeah. We tend to look at surrender as this kind of, that it's all about this. Like, it's not really true though. Surrendering to action is also surrendering, and it's surrendering directly to allowing life to move us like that. And it means that surrender as the way of life is deeply practical, deeply directly plugged into our living lives. And yet we must lose from our minds, from that set within us of fear, which gets to control our ways in a fearful way. We get to lose those parts and embrace the change of life itself as well. Because that change is everything. Change is the nature of life. And to the extent that we agree to love, we can't at the same time stand like, change no things. It doesn't work that way. Life gets to decide change. All we can do is surrender. All we can do is acknowledge that our movement with love has a certain way, and we can move with that love. We can move with that surrender. And inside of that, we can acknowledge and admit we're not really being completely honest about what life states in this moment, this moment, this moment, this moment, this moment. Now, what I'm speaking of here, it may sound like something fleeting, and it's really not. The solidification as life, as love, depends fully on our willingness to surrender to move that way. But that doesn't mean that we become like boats floating on the ocean. That surrender leads us directly into such a deeply and fulfilling commitment, which becomes that full surrender. A commitment wherein we get up every day and allow ourselves to give the center of what we are to every single thing we handle during that day. That there is nothing which is less interesting, but that we allow ourselves to surrender so deeply to that commitment that we attend to everything with all that we are. Now, we tend to not really like to do that because when we give everything, we meet our edge. When we attend with everything, we meet our edge. But this is what we need to do. We need to love and love and love and love and love and love so deeply that everything else burns up in that fire. That everything we touch here is with the quality of what this earth deserves. That everything we touch here is with the commitment which is needed for everything to be born into truth. something real, something new, and something different is being born now. And that which is being born is truth at the very core of straightness, of nakedness, that which is real. That's your invitation. I think I was just told that actually time is up. Feels like we just got started, but anyway. Yeah. So I guess that's all I have to say for now, but we'll come back in 30 minutes. I'd love to go in and look with you. Yeah. Thank you, guys.